It seems that Fabius Bile is up to his old tricks, pumping out brand new Emperor's Children Space Marines, but there's something different about these Emperor's Children Marines. These ones seem bigger, faster, and stronger. This potentially could be the Primaris Chaos Marine that we've talked about so much with Fabius Bile. But before we go down that rabbit hole, I have to give a huge spoiler alert. We're going to be talking about a few books, which I'm going to put in the background right now. So the first book is Gene Father by Guy Haler. This is really important because what Fabius managed to achieve in this book, or what he managed to steal in this book, should I say. The next one is Clone Lord from Josh Reynolds. This is part of the Fabius Bile trilogy series that is out there. And of course, last, which is all this information has been put into now, is the Lord of Excess book, which was just released this week by Rich McCormick. Hopefully I'm saying his name right, probably just butchered it. But if you haven't read any of these books, if you come to reading the books and you don't want to be spoiled, then please leave the video now. This is your first and only spoiler warning. Now, I'm going to put some extracts in the background in a second. I just want to try and sum it up of what's basically happened in the Lord of Excess book with Fabius Bile and stuff like that, etc., etc. Basically, what Fabius Bile has been doing, he's been making some new Chaos Space Marines. Now, for me, I'm taking this as Primaris Marines. I'm not saying they are Primaris Marines, but I think they're on the level of Primaris Marines because Fabius Bile does have access to brand new gene stock, which we'll get into in a second, with the Emperor's Children. He's managed to steal some information from Belisarius Call, which again, we'll get into in a second. So potentially, Fabius now has the tools, he has the information to make his own brand new Chaos Space Marine. And with these Marines he's making, he's basically bestowing them upon people he seems fit to actually receive these Marines. I'm going to put one of the extracts in the background right now. So this new Marine that's been made by Fabius Bile is called Torachon. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. I always butcher names, but I've highlighted the little, the bit of text which we're going to read over now. It's all in yellow so you can see it. So it's like Torachon had come to the Adored later, fresh from Fabius Bile's gene forges, the stink of the Clone Lord's arcane biology raw on his perfect skin. He was a reward bestowed by Fabius Bile himself for work well done by Xantane's warband, and as far as prizes for such a creature went, Torachon was a good one, strong, loyal, and rapid as starlight. He took to the debuncheries of the Adored as a sword to its scabbard, a natural fit for its regal form. Long white hair, framed a symmetrical face, was split by a quilling nose and embedded with two eyes of deep violet. They were Fulgrim's eyes, and it thrilled Xantine to command such a perfect reflection of his Primarch. Now, I know you're going to say, well, where is the Primaris? How is this guy bigger and stronger? We'll get to that just in a second. I put this bit of text in there because I want to bring up the point what Fabius Bile has now in his inventory. He has the purest form of Emperor's Children geneseed. Geneseed from the Great Crusade itself. Geneseed from before the Emperor's Children were blighted and nearly wiped out. How did he get this? This is all from the story Clone Lord, where he was interacting with Trajan the Infinite. With Trajan the Infinite, he traded the perfect clone of Fulgrim for this gene stock. So that's why he has this in his power now. This is how he's able to create characters like this that have the perfect reflection of their Primarch. Angelic, the eyes and everything like that, long white hair. Perfect Chaos Space Marines without the tentacles of corruption or any warp trickery attached to it. These are the perfect Chaos Space Marines. And with the passage of text that I'm going to put in the background right now, you can see why I'm thinking that Fabius is doing something and making these new type of perfect Chaos Space Marines. I'm going to call them of course, Primaris Chaos Marines. Probably not the perfect word to put them, but Fabius is doing something with it. This passage of text states, a new figure ducked through the open door into the hallway. This one was tall, taller even than his peers, and blessed with the angelic bearing that period had initially expected from Astartes of legend. Now, I will say, let's flip the coin on the other side. This could be just a you know, a Space Marine that's tall. We've had that before in the past. There's been plenty of examples of Loyalist Space Marines and Trait Space Marines that were way bigger than their other brothers in different legions. Like Alexis Pollux was fabled to be an absolute unit of the Imperial Fist. I'm sure there's other chapters out there and other legions out there that had really, really tall and strong Astartes. But it's this next bit of text which, for me, I think it really sells it that Fabius has done something and he's crafting something absolutely new for Chaos Space Marines. And it's with this passage of text, which I'm going to put in the background now, for me, that personally sells that theory. It says Fabius Bile had built him to be stronger, faster, better than his brothers. But only now did Toroshon understand true perfection. Don't forget that Toroshon is the Marine that Fabius built and sent to Xantine as part of a gift and stuff like that. He is bigger, he is faster, he is stronger. These are literally the words that they use when they describe Primaris Marines. Again, maybe using the Primaris Chaos Space Marine is not the right thing to do at this stage, but Fabius is clearly building bigger and better Chaos Space Marines at this time, and he's got the information to do it, because this then leads into the other spoiler from the book Gene Father, where Fabius Bile and Beretarius Call had a little bit of a battle. Basically, the summary of that book is that Fabius Bile managed to walk away with information from Alpha Primus. I think he stole his something that, like his geneseed or something like that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But he managed to walk away with some massive information on how that being worked. And Alpha Primaris himself is made up of more or less all the Primarch's DNA. It was more or less confirmed in that book. Like he had a lot of Magnus the Red in him and stuff like that. That's why he can like move things and do the psychic stuff like that. So with Fabius Bile walking away with that information, of course he's able to crack the code. He's able to do this. Fabius Bile himself, he was calling Primarchs at one stage. He was doing like wonders and stuff in his gene craft, in his gene lab, making monsters and everything like that. So making his own version of the so-called Primaris Marines shouldn't be really that much of an effort for someone like him. Now, there is one more piece to this puzzle, and this comes from the Josh Reynolds trilogy series on Fabius Bile, which I recommend everyone to go and buy. It's probably one of the best Chaos book series out there. Fabius Bile made some new creations called the New Men, which are basically an evolution of mankind. Like these creations can bring down Space Marines. They're actually designed to kill Space Marines, and they're just like normal humans and stuff like that. They're there to go into like places of power in the Imperium, seize power and take over, and you know, more or less create a new life and stuff. It's like the best way to describe it. It's the next evolution for mankind. It's what Fabius Bile saw for the next stage of humanity, so they can defend the galaxy and stuff like that. Because Fabius Bile is such a complicated character. Like he hates chaos as much as the Imperium, right? He hates what chaos is, what it represents and stuff. He wants to get rid of chaos as much as everyone else. He just wants to be left in a corner, you know, like cutting up frogs in his little lab because he's a psychopath. But Fabius Bile, for me, he's taking this next stage now. I think if we gather all that information which I've been talking about in this video, I definitely see him making perfect, brand new, faster, stronger, better Chaos Space Marines. For the Emperor's Children, at least. I'm not saying like there's going to be like World Eaters out there that are like this. For now, it's just the Emperor's Children. And maybe this now could be walking forward, and we could be seeing something quite big and quite shifting with the Emperor's Children Chaos Space Marine, with the launch of course, the Emperor's Children Refresh, which is going to be coming in 10th edition. I did a video about it the other day. Games Workshop have more or less confirmed that book is definitely happening now. I've been hearing through the whispers of the warp for bloody how long that it's been happening. So yeah, for me, it's all happening. It's all going forward. The lore which are in these books are all connecting now, and it's right there. I'd love to get your viewpoints on it. Am I wrong? Do you think I'm taking it too far? Do you think these are I keep calling them Primaris Chaos Space Marines, which is probably not the best way to word it, but you know, they are a new or next or perfect Chaos Space Marine which Fabius is making. Anyway, enough waffling for me. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, post it down below. I'm have a nice little chinwag down there as we always do. See you now. Have a great day, and bye-bye.